on wax. That's right. So we're going to talk about some things that are very important as traders, investors, and people who literally are a part of this generation and this society. All right. Now, if you're tuning in right now, I appreciate your time. It's 8 p.m. I'm not here to do anything but to educate each other so that way we can actually share this knowledge and prepare ourselves for opportunities that are lining up. Okay. Now, as I was doing my thing today, uh, I noticed a couple of things that's relating to the fundamentals of what's about to happen in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, with the government shutdown, with the tariffs, with the $2,000 tax tariff stimmy. And I started saying to myself, wait a minute, mm, this is starting to look like something that I actually recognize very well because we all done lived through it. Who remembers who remembers March 2020? Has there anybody who were traders before 2020 or right around 2020? Do y'all remember the market, what it was looking like in 2020? Because this has everything to do with what we're going to talk about. All right. 2020 was the year where the world pretty much shut down and we didn't know what the heck to do. I want y'all to think about when March 2020 had hit and you was probably struggling to breathe and struggling to understand charts and trading and all of that. And you probably just kind of just dove headfirst into this whole world. And now here you are 5 years later. And sometimes you got to just rewind the clock and just say, yo, damn, it's really been 5 years. What have I missed? What could I have done better? And I'm the type of person who's always going back into the charts just to put some pieces together that I did not really understand as well as I did now. And I always used to say to myself, man, if I ever get the opportunity, just the opportunity of a pullback or understanding what that means when things line up again, I'm not going to make the mistake or sit on the sidelines like I did back then. All right. Now, for those of you guys who have been trading since 2020, I know it's been a long road. I know it's been a long road. Some of us started doing this because we lost our jobs. We finally had time to sit down and focus on a new skill. And at the time, it was a lot of emotions. But one of those things that I do remember out of the whole fiasco was the fact that I thought the world was going to end. And instead, the markets just kept pumping. And I was like, huh? What the heck? At the time, I wasn't even that good with fundamentals. Let's talk about I wasn't even that good with fundamentals. But as time went on, I started realizing, you know what? I need to be a lot more educated on the fundamentals of the market. I would definitely say as of now, it's a little better. It's a whole lot better. So this is the post that I'm referring to. It just was said that the US is preparing the 2000 stimulus checks. On top of that, Japan is preparing a $110 billion stimulus package.
I'm afraid it could be. So you think there's a military plot to take over the government?
Yes, there's a military plot to take over the government. Thank you for that. All right. So China has approved a $1.4 trillion stimulus package. And the Fed is officially ending QT, which is quantitative tightening, on December 1st. Now I'm trying to find this post uh on the CoinGram Instagram page. And for some reason, man, I'm not seeing it. Hold on. Cause there's something that's blocking it. Let me see if I could find it. Oh, there it is. Right there. Okay. The Fed is officially ending QT on December 1st, and the US is issuing $1.9 trillion in treasures per year. Canada, that's not all. Canada is restarting its quantitative easing program. Whew. Global M2 money supply is at a record 137 trillion. Global rate cuts are at 320 plus over the last 24 months. And the question is, in what world? In what world is another wave of inflation not on its way? Ladies and gentlemen, this is about to be a crazy, crazy conversation. This sit down is very interesting. And I know a lot of those things that I just read went right over y'all heads. First of all, does anybody know what M2 money supply is? Or do you guys remember me talking about M2 money supplies maybe a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago? Y'all remember? Let me know. Let me see if y'all can jog your memory. Does anybody know what M2 money supply is? Okay, guess not. Cool. Does anybody know what quantitative easing is? Just respond yes or no.
I guess that I know that one. Like it's like QT and QE, right?
Yes.
And like QE is like when the government or the central banks like printing money and use it like
Yes.
to buy assets.
Yes. Correct.
And it's
And
stimulate like the economy like and the QT is like the opposite of QE, right?
correct. Correct, bro. Correct. Did you guys hear that? Y'all definitely need to bring out your notes and paper today. Quantitative easing is basically when the central banks, just like Philippe had said, thank you, Philippe, the banks are deliberately printing money into the markets, into the economy. They are opening the floodgates and they are broadening the supply. All right. So meaning when the central banks and the Fed in different parts of the world starts to open up the floodgates of quantitative easing, that means a lot of the stocks, a lot of the companies that need bailout, a lot of liquidity that were needed to keep pushing the markets, you're going to see all-time highs like you've never seen before. And quantitative tightening is the opposite of quantitative easing, which means this is when the supply or the central banks, these institutions, they start to kind of like slow down on actually buying into the economy, buying into the stocks, putting their own positions in the stock market. And not just the stock market, in oil, in gold, metal, metal like silver, the different market sectors, energy, you know. So we got to see this firsthand. Now, when the U.S. is telling us that they're preparing to issue a stimulus check, do y'all remember back in March 2020 when US 30 sold like crazy? Let me go. It's another chart. Yeah, this one is about less noisy. US 30 sold like crazy the Friday when they announced that the world was going to shut down. And I don't know if you guys remember what happened soon after during the weekend when they were like, well, um, the government is literally going to be sitting down over the weekend to come up with a plan. And then Monday, bright and early, they announced that there was a $1.4 trillion stimulus package that's going to include checks and different injections of liquidity into the American markets. Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember that? Yes, 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 yes. in 2020. $1.4 trillion government shutdown. All right. So I remember this like it was yesterday. And at the time, right, we hit like 4 all-time highs. Appreciate you, Q. All right. Senate approves $1.4 trillion spending agreement ahead of shutdown deadline. It's crazy. December 19, 2019. I guess that happened even months before, but the Senate voted 81-11 to approve 1.4 trillion spending package that will fund the federal government through the end of September 2020. Isn't it crazy? Do y'all remember who was president at the time? Do y'all remember?
Trump.
Okay. Okay. So it's not unfamiliar territory with that presidency. This happened before. This happened before. So it's the same play like the head coach is trying to run the routes. All right. So the broad spending agreement was broken into 2 separate bills that passed the White House earlier that week. The legislation now heads to President Trump for his signature. White House Conway, I haven't heard that name in a long time, told reporters on Tuesday that Trump will sign the legislation, avoiding the threat of another government shutdown. At the time, we was facing another government shutdown, potentially. So this was perfect timing when in March 2020, we literally saw the injection of liquidity into the markets. This was already priced in. So now, $1.4 trillion injection, March 2020. All right. Now, it was it was 1.9 trillion. My bad. Let's just say there was a lot of money that was printed into the markets. And when we go back in time, this was one of the craziest drops that happened. And then boom, soon as they announced the injection into the economy, we started seeing this. And the market pushed and it pushed. And every time it pulled back, it never even looked down this way. And till this day, it ain't never looked back since then. Guys, we legit saw this thing push until the next year. Now, even up until December of 2020, this market, all it did was rally for months and months and months and months. So now imagine the news that we're getting when they're talking about Canada, which is our main supply of oil. The Fed officially ending QT on December 1st and them preparing to hand out stimulus checks. I'm not sure if it's going to happen after December, or whatever the case is, right? They are preparing to rally this market once again. So it is no surprise to me seeing the fact that like we're having retracements right now. So even if we were to see this market drop at 45,500 at this point this week, or even by the end of this month, I want you to not panic because opportunity is underway. The stronger the demand zones from months and months ago, like for example, imagine if price comes down here in October 2025's lows, which so happened to have been September 2025's lows. Do you understand what that would mean for us? This would be the first class ticket seats to profit, bitch. This is money that we could literally put into our portfolio and forget about it for the next 6 months. This is what that means. And I used to kick myself every time I went back in time. I'm like, man, when are we going to have an opportunity like this? I guess all we had to do is survive the years long enough to see history repeat itself. You guys, I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. The opportunities that we might have missed back then is the opportunities that we're about to see very, very soon. And it's a matter of preparing ourselves on the charts, and the plan is to start thinking about how will we position ourselves over these next 2 to 3, 4 years. Reason being, not only is the stock market going to rally, but so is our portfolio. This is going to be one of those opportunities where most of us will actually have the opportunity to cost average at discounted prices. Now, as we're talking about discounted prices, Bitcoin right now is dropping, and all your favorite influencers are literally creating fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and probably don't even have $1 in Bitcoin or even plans to cost average. Meanwhile, every time Bitcoin pulled back, we either saw all-time highs or we saw all-time highs. And that's all it was. That's all it was. Some people think the game is finally over. Wrong. This is just the beginning of the future. And I remember seeing price pulling back in October 2024 at 54K. I'm like, ain't no way price is going to go to 100K. Bitcoin said, hold my beer. Watch this. Blasted through 100K in 3 months. Not even. From September 2024 to December in 2024, all we saw was this, an 81% gain. So every time price rallied and pulled back as deep as it could with Bitcoin and the crypto markets, no matter what was going on, this always meant a good opportunity for it to make new all-time highs. And I remember when I used to train at Export Fitness, when my boy Emmanuel Gordon, who's on this call right now, we used to talk about crypto while I'm training him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bro, we used to literally be in shock at what was going on and how we would be taking advantage and capitalizing off this. 5, 6 years later, here we are in a webinar, an opportunity lining up again. But let me tell you guys, out of all these 5 to 6 years, what I've learned. I've had conversations with guys like Jovan. And something that never really clicked for me was the fact that as a trader, we keep thinking about precision, but we need to think more as investors, because precision puts the perfectionist aspect of action taken to the back seat. Because no matter how much we was having conversations when XRP was worth like 35 cents, 57 cents, I always thought I would find the best entry with intuition, and then it would just be the craziest trade I ever had. You know what that did for me? Nothing. I sat there and watched every time, and I'm like, nah, ain't the right time. I'll have time. Nah, it's not a good entry. What I should have did was cost average, because when you believe in something, it doesn't matter where price is. As long as it's pulling back, your plan is in motion. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? because it's not about where price is right now. It's the same way when I be telling y'all about like swing trading positions. It's not about where price is right now. It's about where it will be 3 years from now, 2 years from now, and how much time you have to cost average. Every week, I need y'all to start, now that y'all are finally profitable and y'all finally getting payouts, and now $500 is not something that I'm asking too much of. I need y'all to start throwing $50, $20, $100, like a mindless habit as prices pulling back into cheaper prices. I need y'all to not use Cash App because most of us traders, we be using Cash App to make transactions. I need y'all to use platforms that y'all don't even really be making exchange transactions on. I need y'all to start looking up cold wallet storage, because these next couple of years, even if you see prices at 70,000, 80,000, 90,000, look, that's the cheapest it'll be, because there's more to come out of this. 200K is not going to be an issue for Bitcoin real soon. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. I'd be sitting here watching and listening to some of the best podcasts, people who actually are hedge fund managers, securities backed structures and stuff like that. And I'm sharing y'all the screen just so y'all can see those type of podcasts I'm listening to. The Wolf of All Street. We study billionaires. And when I sent y'all this link the other night while I was driving, and I said y'all need to listen to this. They were literally breaking down how Interactive Brokers, the founder of Interactive Brokers, even thought about creating this platform. And he was talking about a lot of things that confirm how these markets and the big players move money. It's like what I've been telling y'all all this time. It's like they borrow off each other. Y'all know when I be saying, hey, this game be as simple as, yo, bro, NVIDIA on the phone. What they want? They said, can y'all just let us borrow your earnings for Q2, and then we'll get you guys back. Like we'll pay y'all back in Q4 when we announce our earnings report. And then y'all just gonna know early so y'all could get in at discounted prices, and you could just be our liquidity so we could get this back in. And then y'all just get the spread fill because you'll get in earlier than everybody else. You ever wonder why certain prices right now are still where they're at? They're literally holding down price. Whatever we see right now, it is valued at 5x than what you're seeing right now. They literally got the funds sat and the liquidity is brewing, so that way they could get enough securities out of their partners, so that way when the sweep happens, all you see is rally. Like you see Solana right now worth $130. One of these days, in the next 18 months, with all this stuff that we see, the injection of liquidity, and I'm gonna get y'all to understand what that means. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, Bitcoin was a guessing game. Crypto was a guessing game. We didn't really know who was moving these markets. But now I log into my Square payment processor, which is for all local, small businesses, large businesses. If you ever go to a mom and pop shop, you literally click and pay off the tap because of Square technologies. I sign in, and what do I see? This is one of my payment processing listen. It said Bitcoin. And I'm like, holy smokes. They are commercializing the mess out of crypto, and they're offering people the opportunity, even as small business owners, to receive payment in crypto. That was not possible 4 years ago. We weren't here 4 years ago. What does this mean? They are creating ETFs, just like the stock market has ETFs for the first 5 to 7 best companies, 30 best companies all together as a super PAC team. They're about to have, and they already have, a lot of crypto ETFs. What does that do? It makes investors like your mom and dad, your grandma, the average person, literally not have to worry about just one coin, but then they can invest comfortably into a new generation of 401ks, a new generation of retirement pension funds, real liquidity, commercial level liquidity, institution level liquidity, society level conversations and systems and structures, like day to day. Like, you could literally be going to Starbucks in the next few months and paying in Bitcoin and Solana. What do you think that means for the price of crypto and a lot of other stocks that are going to be backed in having functionalities, immersiveness with crypto payments? You got Visa, American Express, that's now going to, not only can you spend and get points in crypto, but you could buy it at any stores. This is next level, which means the price you see now, that's nothing. What's stopping this from doubling and tripling? But if you keep worrying about like a precise price, you're always going to be regretful. Because if you just make a habit of weekly deposits into your Coinbase or your Upload or into a cold wallet, you'll be surprised to see in the next 2 to 3 years how you're sitting on high 6-7 figures, all because of a habit you built and just making weekly deposits instead of blowing your accounts or seeing beautiful returns, even from a small account like a $500, $600, $700 personal trading account, or $2,000, $3,000 payout from your prop firms. Now, instead of just paying for bills only, you need to sit down and start creating a plan to cost average into your future. Does that make sense, guys? Because it is now time. It's no longer in hiding who's in this market. You got institutions, Visa. You're going to start seeing a whole bunch of advertisement on video games and soccer games, football games, Super Bowls brought to you by Solana, the future of financial banking. What do you think that's doing? That's literally money coming in. And you cannot sit on the sidelines anymore. Do y'all get what I'm talking about?
Do, bro. Dropping the jam.
This is what that means when they're announcing to us that there are injections of liquidity coming back into the market. It is like the most perfect time where everything aligns. So you need to pat yourself in the back right now for having never given up on your skill set. Because now you have the ability to make extra funds. It ain't just about a job no more. You know how to make money on these charts. Am I right? Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
There's not one person on this call right now that don't know how to make an extra $100, $200, $300, $500,000 off these charts. Now this gives you a different perspective, just like having a kid. Respectfully, I can't speak too much because I ain't a father yet, but I'm saying it's like having a kid. I would imagine it's like, damn, I now got to live longer for my portfolio. Bro, I got to make better decisions, be the bigger person now. because I gotta live to see my portfolio thrive. I gotta make better health decisions because, man, I don't need my money going to anything else like we got to start thinking about our spending habits. While the whole world in threads and Instagram, everybody going to war about each other on some who's the better trader, who's got this, who's got that. Look, yo, let's mind our motherfucking business. Listen, stay focused. We got money to make. Shit that we didn't know 5 years ago, we wish we could know now, we got now. And it's starting to line up again. And I don't want nobody to be left behind. Now, we are not talking about numbers that we can't afford to make. I'm not speaking to people that don't know how to actually fend themselves on the charts. That's why we put in so much hours together, just to be able to make profit, so that way we could start moving these funds and thinking twice when we're like, oh, nah, that's not enough profit. I got it. No, you got extra funds now. Had a $200 day. Slow down. Let me go put 50 into crypto real quick. Let me buy in and just keep doing that. Let me show y'all something. I'm going to show y'all two things. I ain't afraid to show y'all something, man. This is why I'm so passionate about this. All right. Can y'all see my coins? Can y'all see my phone screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Full transparency. I was always skeptical about Bitcoin, and I only make transactions through Bitcoin because I just felt like it was always just too expensive. Remember that. Too expensive. And then one of these days, because I barely use Coinbase. I use other apps just to like invest and stuff now. But let me click on Bitcoin real quick. And it says unrealized return. Y'all see that? Y'all see in green where it says unrealized return? Oh, damn. I didn't know it could do that. Yeah. You see how it says 99.6% in return? So here's the story. Y'all see my balance is $1.84, right? So I used to just play around just buying $10. Or one time in March 2020, I bought $1,500 of Bitcoin. But every time I needed the bread, or maybe I was just like moving money into like the Hugo's ways and the KOTs and the whatever ways there existed, JAFX. I done gave so many brokers so much money, man. I mean, I know I'm not the only one. Huh?
You and me both, bro.
Come on. Come on. I seen this one the other day, LQDFX. I'm like, God damn, boy, I slept with so many
bro.
brokers.
I remember that one too.
Whoo, you an old head, bro. So now look at this. I was buying into Bitcoin when price was like 7,971. Fuck my life. When was this? 2019. I was in price where it was worth 8,788. And for me to look at this account and it says I'm up about 90%. And for XRP, this is even worse. I'm up 500% on XRP. But you're looking at the math and you're like, well, something's wrong. How are you up so much? And you only got so little? Because whatever was left out of these transactions and I forgot about it, let's say it was 30 cents or $1, that dollar is up now. That dollar is Jumbotron backflipping. $1 turned into two. 30 cents that was left in my balance turned into like $2. That's how much in returns I could have made had I cost averaged into this. Because I just, as a trader, I was so focused I was so focused on I was so focused on being a really good trader that I just felt like whatever amount of money that I would rather redeposit was into the trading account. So sometimes, even if I would pay myself while I would have a good trading day, all I could think about is taking the next trade because I'm still hungry. Oh, that wasn't enough profit. I gotta jump back in. And I'm not gonna hold you. I probably done lost a lot of money over trading when I could have just stopped trading for the day and be like, okay, I just got paid. Let me disperse some funds before I take my next trade. Y'all hear me? Somebody on this call reached out to me a few weeks ago and said, man, I got about $2,000 to invest. And I'm like, go watch my boot camp, bro. And then come back to me. Reason why I told him to do that is because I wanted him to be ready mentally. Because $2,000 won't serve any purpose if we don't know how to invest it wisely. If we don't know how to trade it properly, we're just going to be depositing it to something that will not give us a return on investment. We're just going to be giving the broker the money. Meanwhile, if we had longer term vision, I just couldn't see past 6 months, honestly. I just couldn't. I'm like, man, this whole shit is just gonna come down and it's gonna be a whoop-de-doo told you so. Like, I got you. It's just a rug pull. I can't see myself faithfully aligning with trying to invest in crypto and seeing 5 years from now. And it was a terrible time too, because it's 2020, mid 2021. And I'm like, man, we still in a government shutdown, and I don't know how things are gonna get better. Like, I'm just trying to see how we even move on from here as human beings. And the worst thing about crypto was I didn't know fundamentals. And I didn't know who were these players because last time I checked, crypto was always just some fishy, sneaky, like if it wasn't for Cash App, I wouldn't even be dabbling in crypto. If it wasn't for Coinbase, I always just thought like it was just something we're just gonna catch a lucky break. And every time I saw the rally leave me, I'm like, what's the point? How many of you guys felt this way for the last 4 or 5 years? How many? And then when it starts to rally, you're like, well, I'm left behind again. That's always my story. When really what we should have been doing is cost averaging. What we should have been doing? Who's trying to make 7 figures by 2030? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Shit, me, bro. If not sooner.
There we go. Now I'm speaking to you. Now I'm talking the language, right?
Oh,
Now, okay, so that's what we got to do. That's what we got to lock in on. Stop doom scrolling. Like, you got to start reading some shit. What did I say this morning? Wealth is intentional. Why everybody out here just having men versus women arguments on, man, go read a damn book, bro. You got folks like Tom Lee. You see this guy right here? This guy is betting on Ethereum and Solana. And I think he's like, James Storm's calling. What up, Jamie? Sir, I know that backboard means you in upstate New York. Yo, what's up? I'm doing a webinar right now, man. Yeah. It's time? Sounds like a plan. That's what I wanted to hear. Let's run it, bro.
Ask him, is he about to start selling?
Jaquel want to know about fortunes, bro. One of
No,
our
I said ask him if he about to start selling. I meant like US 30.
oh, you in some US 30 sales? Absolutely. But once it does, for sure. But once QE is announced, you better not be in some sales trying to be a contrarian, bro. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. But let me call you back. Let me finish this webinar real quick.
Everything is ready to go on the website and to start collecting leads and giving everyone the accounts.
Good shit. Proud of you, bro. All right, bet. Yeah. All right. So where was I? Where was I?
Heinz, your camera went out. It
Yeah, I
said,
know. That shit died. Hold on. Too much sauce being dropped. You remember we had that conversation with last week, and I'm like, the last time he texted me, you remember Quells?
Yeah, I remember.
Yep. And that's why I be telling y'all these webinars, man. I be showing receipts. Yeah, the food smells good, babe.
I'm ready. I'm ready to take some fortune's money. So he better be ready.
Yeah, because this time you really got your shit. Ah! Yeah, my camera died. I was dropping too much sauce, but I'm still on the webinar.
I'm ready to take all their money.
I know you will. And I know you ready this time. Ain't no mediocrity. Ain't
I'm ready.
no novice trader right now. It's killers.
Up.
It's up. Ooh, luckily I did charge my my camera with another battery. So give me a second. So far, how am I doing? Am I delivering on a webinar that y'all didn't even see coming? Talk to me.
I ain't see this shit coming, but I'm feeling the energy. But I mean, I knew it was time to start doing stuff like that. Anyways, I
Yeah.
just feel like I owe it to myself to like buy certain things that's like really important,
Mhm.
for the house, for the family. But I'm definitely on the way to like continuously keep getting payouts and then building that account. So when the time comes, because it was so many times where I did miss a run. However, I've been holding Bitcoin, I think since like 50K.
Yeah.
But the problem is I didn't put that much money into it.
Right.
So, I'm only up like $100, $100 something, even though it's something like,
Right.
like $200. But this time it's like, oh nah, like I
Mm-hmm.
gotta put in way more money and I gotta make sure I'm getting in once they all the way go back down and do a big retest so I can ride the wave back up
Facts. Thank
to
you for
take
that
something
input.
out. Yeah, take something out.
That's what I'm talking about. Because
Right.
most of our regrets are like, damn, I could have made more, but we never had a plan. It was like it was uncharted territory for us. And we always felt like we didn't have enough time or we didn't have enough money. But then when you look back 5 years from now, what could we have made different? What could we have done differently? It's the fact that we should have cost average and just kept focusing on just putting in a little something, putting in a little something, because nobody ever went broke investing in Bitcoin and holding it for the next 5 to 7 years or more. It's just got to be a habit like we paying bills.
Right.
Do you guys understand where I'm coming from? Or is it just Jaquel and Daniel and Zillion and Lisa and Christine?
No, but when I made Bitcoin and I made $3,000, but I took it out not knowing that it would go higher and higher and higher. So now I'm back down to 650. I'm up to 650.
Okay. So how much we trying to make the next time around? Who's trying to
More.
make 100 bands? Who's trying to make
Me,
200? Who's trying to make 500? Who's trying to make 1 million?
me, all of us.
So tell us the plan. How much we gotta put in? Like, come on, let's
For
go
real,
numbers.
how much?
Let's
Come
go.
on, I got 10 to come back to.
I
What's up?
need
What's
to
the
know who I
plan?
was talking to. Now I know.
What's the plan?
So let's break it down. First of all, I just got to show you who's in this joint.
Tell me when or the day, the minute.
No,
so
it's
I
not a
can-
win. It's not a win.
Oh, okay.
It's what we're gonna do starting from today.
We
I'm
gotta get
gonna,
ready now.
yo, every week I'm gonna hold you guys accountable going forward. Even if it's $10, $20, $50, I want y'all to send screenshots into the group chat end of the week, end of the month, at least 3 to 4 times within a month that y'all been putting actively into Coinbase, buying into these cryptos. So that way, 2 years, 3 years from now, we'll thank each other. Can we commit to that?
Yes.
I can do that. I'm gonna start tomorrow.
Bet. Because when I'm listening to these interviews and this guy ain't afraid to create a treasury or a hedge fund where they're sitting in on, like, this guy holds, him and his fund holds an estimated value of $11.1 billion of Ethereum. And we sitting here not doing shit. He is one of the world's largest treasuries behind Michael Saylor. I'm going to name some names here that you guys should not forget going forward. Michael Saylor is this guy. Have anybody heard about MicroStrategy or Strategy, MSTR?
You know it.
Do you know who this guy is? He literally is the founder of the hedge fund and company stock MSTR. And he just literally bought another 835 million Bitcoin as Bitcoin plummets.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. All right. And these guys are the ones that my mentor has been putting me on to. Like, I've known about Michael Saylor, but it didn't mean nothing to me. But then I'm starting to think, I'm like, damn, hold on. How much? How much are they buying? Oh, they looking into the next 10, 20 years. Oh, so I got time if they looking at it like that then. I just have to actually make a habit of buying into it because it's for sure money and liquidity and structures that are literally happening in front of our eyes to make this a utility of an everyday type of lifestyle that we will be a part of in the near future and not too distant future. This is the reality we're walking into. And so even if it looks crazy right now that, oh, wow, we're having a pullback, and then the next thing you hear some news by freaking Christmas, oh, Bitcoin hit new all-time highs, and you just telling people Merry Christmas, and you just freaking maxed out your credit card off some bullshit. People are even like, your little nephews and nieces, they grateful and shit, but like, you're like, man, I can't do this every year. Like, I'd rather, like, I remember when Christine was like, you know what I did for Christmas, man? I bought my family crypto. I ain't never gonna forget that. I'm like, yo, she is thinking years beyond many of us. And that stayed with me. And I know a lot of you guys are beating yourselves up trying to be better traders because, like, you have different goals and dreams, and you need trading to be like the backbone. But you are enough. You just been forcing it a little too much. I had to make peace with that myself. You got
OMG,
time.
that's a good idea. Thank you for that. I
You're
did
welcome.
I opened them checking accounts with Navy Federal,
Yeah.
and I told them I'm not going to give them any birthday gifts, no Christmas gifts. I give them a card with the amount that they have in there for every chance I get. But I'm going to buy Bitcoin instead of just putting the money and letting it sit there, right? That's a better idea.
Hell yeah. Look,
Okay, thank you.
show them love. Give them some gifts if you must, but don't go all out, is what I'm saying. We got better fish to fry. They'll thank us later. Especially most of us who are like the backbone of our family. We always the ones that people are looking at to like reach out, take care of them, do gestures and stuff. And then you dying slowly inside because you can't keep up anymore. You trying to invest. But holidays keep being slapped in your face, and you look 3 months later and you hear freaking Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. You're like, God damn, I had 3 bands. How the heck did I go through 3 grand, 6 grand, 5K during the holidays? And now I really should have been putting money because we did not make a habit of cost averaging. If all we kept doing is just putting a little every week, every day, every month. Let me show y'all another thing that I was going to show you guys in this webinar today. I'm still sharing my screen, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You ain't never going to see me speak this fast unless I'm passionate about something. I'm not sure if y'all peep that. I never can speak fast unless I'm talking about some money and some money moves. All right. Oh, I didn't even realize I had $30 here. Look, I'm going to click details. And I use Cash App very often. Do y'all see how much I've withdrawn just off Cash App in Bitcoin transactions?
I can't see it. What does it say?
It's real tiny.
It's so tiny. I'm so tiny, he's so big and small.
Oh my God.
I stopped using glasses a long time ago, okay?
God damn. All right, guys. Now, see? Now I know all y'all need to be seeing the doctors.
No, because right now it's two screens
No,
up.
I
It's
know, I
you
know, I know.
and the other thing.
Yeah, our screen not as big as yours is. I can see yours. Ours is really small.
Yeah, I understand. Hold on. y'all funny.
I was gonna say something, but I'm like, oh,
Okay, now it's one big screen.
Yes. All right. Let me show y'all something. Before my voice goes out, I can feel. All right. Do y'all see how much I've withdrawn off Bitcoin transactions?
Oh my gosh.
Dang, bro.
So in case y'all ever thought if I was trading for real, that's why I don't do no back and forths online with niggas. You probably ain't invested enough or lost enough over the years. I never needed your validation when I was losing funds. When I was delusional about this whole entire journey, for me to speak with such passion today. I done put skin in the game. But I learned things the hard way time and time again. And there's still more to learn. So when I'm looking at the reason why I showed you guys the transactions over the years, it's not like I couldn't throw a few hundreds here and there towards Bitcoin. It's just that I didn't believe in it enough to be thinking, okay, 5 years later, I will thank myself. I remember this conversation in 2019 and 2021. Me and Jovan, we was having a conversation. He was like, yeah, bro, I bought Bitcoin. I bought XRP when it was like 5 cents, bro. I'm like, God damn, 5 cents. Shit, it don't make no sense for me to invest now. If he got that 5 cents. In 2022, I remember every time, and these were real situations. I remember like we kept going back and forth with the whole XRP situation. And then I'm like, man, it's not looking like there's ever going to be a time where it becomes, crypto becomes mainstream.
You talking about during the lawsuit issues they were having?
Lawsuit issue, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like,
man,
it's go home, guys. You know, pack it up. This ain't But you know, there's another thing about crypto that I always used to be skeptical about. When folks was rallying behind crypto thinking, oh yeah, man, this is time for the little people to rise up. You know, banks won't follow our transactions anymore. You know, like this is the bankless society. I'm like, yo, you think banks is just gonna sit there and watch us get rich and not tax us on it or be in on this tool? Like what? How did we think the little guys was gonna finally win and just the banks are just gonna shut down? How are we gonna make transactions? Come on. They were always in on this. In fact, they introduced this and gave us 10 to 20 years to catch up and not see a future without it. It's called pre-programming, autosuggestive mechanisms, right? So when I think about things in that manner, I'm like, damn, you just got to believe about the vision a little longer. You have to see it a little further than just the scalp trades, just the intraday trades. We got to think longer. Does that make sense? Because with time, you'll catch up with wealth. All you have to do is be intentional. Right? Because these guys are being intentional and they're putting billions of dollars behind these things. Whatever fiasco you hear is going on right now, it really won't matter 2 to 3 to 4, 5, 10 years from now. Only thing that matters is that we get in while it's still cheap. Okay, guys?
Yes, sir.
When is the next workshop you usually attend? Workshop? I just be tuned in, man. Like before watching one of them podcasts about what's his name? Sometimes I stop listening to like urban podcasts that don't really do nothing for me. And I'm just like listening to the conversations between people who believe in the future. When I said Tom Lee, I sat there and listened to an interview. And sometimes I want to drop these interviews that I'm watching, but I'm like, I don't, here's the thing. I do want to admit this, right? All I see is eyes and reactions. I don't know who's invested enough. I know I'm posting, but I don't know whose these 4 hearts are. And 3 and 4 doesn't really make me feel like, okay, you know what, man, unless I get on a call like this morning. Oh yeah, I've been watching you I've been staying quiet. I'm like, oh shit. Oh, I'm thinking I'm just posting and folks will probably just see it and be part of 20 other groups. And it don't really mean nothing to them that much. But when I get on these calls and we talk about a topic that I can tell we're passionate about, we're interested about, I'm like, okay, now if I drop a link like this, and I'm like, go watch this and just play it while you're driving and get to finding out about some of those people who you'll see in the next 5 years as like one of those big hitters, instead of being online complaining about the 1 billionaire who's now a trillionaire. Well, he's not a trillionaire yet. Complaining about folks, you worried about the wrong people that are actually being social and vocal about what they see as the future. It's not going to be 1 trillionaire. In fact, there's been trillionaires. So we got to really pay attention. Now, let me move forward into Chat GPT. So let me write down people that I want y'all to follow. Let me podcast. No. Let me do this. I just joined your Telegram group, bro, today, but I definitely value and knowledge will continue to drop. Man, appreciate that, B. and keep yourself away from it's all going down type of content. Oh, everything's going down in shambles. Yo, don't listen to that bullshit, yo. Nothing is going to last forever when it comes to pullbacks. Okay? Now, Michael Saylor. I want y'all to follow this YouTube. Cause he be talking, yo. Like he is so passionate about this. Whatever you hear Michael Saylor is talking, you need to sit and listen. Oh crap.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
Sell your perfect digital appreciating asset for their melting paper depreciating liability. The signal is the hash rate. The signal is the institutional.
That's a lot of stuff that y'all don't know. But yeah, I think this is it right here. Yeah, there it is. This YouTube channel right here. Let me send y'all the link. I need y'all to tap into more intelligent conversations. Bro, thanks for the knowledge. You already know I'm in Bitcoin. Yes, sir. I need y'all to tap in to more intelligent conversations happening with the vocal.
Your olive oil is fake.
Olive oil is fake. Dan, be careful, bro.
No, I'm doing the YouTube. I'm storing the channel.
Yeah. Need y'all tap into more vocal leaders. And
I hope it is not my olive oil I'm cooking with.
That's funny.
Hey, I'm glad you're talking to the community about the importance of these things, and I think it's not talked a lot about, and it is a wealth transfer that we need to pay attention to and kind of participate, not just be the ones.
Spectators.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important because sometimes when you hear, and you know, there's so much content that does that. Man, we are witnessing a wealth transfer. Sign up to the webinar, click the link below, wealth building, this and that. And you're like, man, goddamn, I just blew an account today, man. I'm just trying to get right with the challenge accounts, this and that, and third. It's going in one ear, out the other. But it's a lot more doable if you're just thinking in $50, $100, $75, $25. It's something you could actively do, like realistically do. It won't even bother you much. But here's the point I'm getting to, and then we're gonna finish. When you go in, I need y'all to really sit here and ask ChatGPT questions that would take mentors and $5,000 from your pocket. It's like, hey, so I know I want to make 100K plus within the next 3 years off, let's say, Solana. How could I cost average a plan that is realistic and doable? Let's see what it says. I can help you think through a structured, realistic, and risk-aware plan, but I can't tell you what to invest in or guarantee incomes, of course. But what I can help you is model possible scenarios and build a disciplined dollar cost averaging framework so you can judge what feels feasible for you. Below is a practical way to approach it. First, define a goal clearly. You want 100K profit and portfolio value increase in 3 years via Solana. This requires knowing how much you can contribute monthly. What's the first thing? You have to pretty much come up with a plan on how much you can contribute monthly. What Solana's price growth levels you consider realistic? I think Solana is going to be worth at least $1,000 in the next 3 to 4 years, or very less. And I think Bitcoin is going to touch 200K probably in the next couple of months or by next year. So your end value depends on final portfolio. So here's a scenario. Dollar cost averaging is buying into a fixed schedule, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. So you guys are going to have to figure out how you want to do this. Is it weekly or monthly? I think monthly sounds good because you're like every week at least 3 times within that 4-week period or 5-week period. Make sure out of that month, you didn't forget to pay yourself for the future version of yourself. Okay? Now, if you're buying $300 a month, that's how much a month? 300 divided by 4 weeks. You need just $75 every week to buy something at $300 a month. Let's say you put half of 75, which is 37.5, I believe. Yes. These fun maths, you just got to know. Imagine you put in $35 to $50 on each Bitcoin and Solana or Ethereum, whichever one, or you can diversify, which is why the crypto ETFs will be helpful, because then they'll put all 3 of them in one ETF and you can just invest in that ETF. That's still the same thing, right? Research that type of stuff. Over 3 years, we would have accumulated about 10.8K invested just by putting in $75, $50, $40, whatever you can towards that. Just making a habit of it. By the time Solana, let's say, reaches $500, you at least have 36K from a 10K investment. That's scenario 1. That's still not bad. That's funny. That's still not bad. It's funny. My brother Sebastian literally just sent me a text. They don't know what it took. This was me. You remember when I used to tell y'all this? I would come home and be dead tired. This is my laptop. Like, this is literally my MacBook. What you think I just finished doing? Back testing. This right here, my scale. It's 2 things you would never not catch me around. My MacBook and how much I weigh. There you go. Export fitness. On the floor. Because I knew the vision. This was 6 years ago. It's got to be. Now these stories are making sense, right? Now these stories have some weight to it. It has substance to it. But when you was taking those L's, Christine, when you was taking those L's, Jaquel, Ralph, Robert, Rosa, Wally, Zillion, Q, Philippe, Lisa, Latrice, Keita, Guy, Gloria, D, Danny, BBT, Charts. When you was taking those L's, you think it doesn't really add up, but it does. It does. But let's just make sure it adds up the right way this time. Does that make sense, guys?
It makes sense, bro.
Let's
Yes, sir.
100.
For sure. Now look at the scenario B right here. If we were buying $500 a month into crypto, let's say Solana, in 3 years, that will be around 18K. And let's say Solana hits $800, you'll be floating around 96 bands. That's not impossible. Are you starting to get the picture? Trey, it was never about sniper entries and how much you don't have. It's about the future that you believe in with the efforts that we're making today, the next day, and the next day, and the next day.
I would also say that even your sniper entry was positioning yourself now for the future. That's your sniper entry.
Bars. Somebody pay this man. Okay. So this is what could be possible if we lock in. It don't even got to be 3 years. It might be 5. But within that time, miracles going to happen. All right. And it don't feel as bad when you just throwing 50, 100, 80. It don't feel as bad. But when you put a whole 10 racks, a whole 5 bands, like you got to really not be needed for nothing. And that's been the problem too in the past couple of years. Like when I used to be growing small accounts, man, if I need an extra $500 and shit is just tough, I'm going in that Coinbase because that's like my little savings. And I just kept making a habit out of that. And eventually I'm like, man, especially like when news would hit that like crypto is just not having a good time. I'm like, yeah, bro, my situation right now needs help. Okay. I don't care whatever I had to do just to like lock in and not touch that money, man. I need that money right now. I'll pay myself back. And I never ended up paying myself back. All right. So that's why I've been telling y'all like things such as fix your credit, because now it's a different conversation, right? And I wanted to tell you guys about this. You see this? First, you had to learn the skill and the education. Then you leverage OPM. Then you believe in what you're doing. Imagine now that you guys get your own LLCs, which you can now afford with a good and better credit. You get business funding. Imagine having an extra 15, 30, 50K credit card where you could literally connect that credit card to your Coinbase and it just automatically buys for you. And you just pay that credit card right back. That's a major hack right there. Y'all shouldn't have said this. Man, my mouth slipped. I don't think y'all heard. That's good. I ain't hear what I just said.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, I ain't just hear what I just said, bro. I ain't hear what I just said. Did y'all hear the 7-figure gem that I just gave y'all?
Clearly, bro. Got us shit.
These are the things I'm going to implement. So don't look at me funny if I gave you the game and I told you what I'm about to do. Your bump is loud. So what I said is, start thinking about fixing your credit and getting an LLC and come and talk to me so I can connect you to people who can get you funding. So that way, when we have these structures, those types of credit cards we now can use because they have access to 20, 15, 30K in a credit card, where just using like $100 just connecting with your Coinbase so it can automatically take those funds, so it can dollar cost average automatically, and funding your future with OPM. These are all the different strategies y'all should start thinking about. It's not just waiting on your payout now. It's about leveraging OPM. Does that make sense? Nobody told me this one. It was in the shower. Okay? These are all the things that I didn't have the tools for. My credit was fucked up. I didn't know better. I didn't believe in the future like enough to think. I always felt like, man, if I had like Harold, y'all know Haitian Harold, man, my brother, man, if I had $50,000, man, I would be a millionaire right now, man. And I'm like, bro, just invest what you have. Just make a habit out of it. Yeah, I know, man. I know. You ain't never gonna make M's if you don't dollar cost average. Okay. So this is what I wanted to talk about. I think we've been on the call for a good hour and 19 minutes, what it feels longer. But if this made sense to you, I just want you to commit. We're gonna be talking a lot more about these things, but I just want y'all to win. I just want y'all to believe in your future despite your current circumstances. You know what I mean? That's it. Going into 2026, I don't want y'all to just be blowing accounts now. I want y'all to be accountable. That boy be spitting. All right. And we have the money, like it be passing by. I'm sick of y'all sending me reels of account blowing jokes on Instagram. Do better. Should be funny though. But don't listen to nobody else that's trying to waste your time online, just seeing people going back and forth, beefing with each other. That's none of our business, bro. Lock in. All right. That's it. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to send on my Telegram the conversation with ChatGPT, just so you guys can continue. So you guys can continue to really just see how those type of conversations can help you brainstorm ideas and take down notes and a plan of action for the next 4 to 5 to 10 years. Because you know what else? I almost forgot to say this. Once you start getting a strong portfolio, you could actually never sell. And that's what the rich is doing. They never sell, but they borrow against that portfolio. And that's what my guy, who's now my mentor, because I reach out to him, he give me game like that. He's like, bro, after I done put $10 million of the company exit that I had, he was a founder of a hosting company with Minecraft. In November 2022, he got paid out, him and his business partner, $40 million. He took $10 million, he put into real estate. And he put $5 million into real estate. And then he put $10 million into Bitcoin in November of 2022. Now, let me show you guys what Bitcoin was doing in November of 2022.
Hey, bro, I don't want to cut you off, but I truly hope people understood the level of the gem that you just dropped just now. Like you may have to say it again for them, because a lot of people don't realize all you have to do is borrow against your assets. And it's literally what the rich do over and over.
So when I sat there and had this conversation with my mans, right? And he's white, and I appreciate a white brother who telling me what it's like. And he's one of us. He's 37. So like, he's very open with me. he'll sit there and give me gain. I'm sitting here mind fucking blown. And I'm like, oh my God, this nigga just told me he's worth 400 M's. And he's telling me what it's like. He has to have custodial accounts where if in case he dies or somebody holds him hostage, it has to be 3 people who has access to a specific password. And there needs to be escrow and lawyers involved with certain trusts. And I'm like, oh my God, what the yo. Now I know for sure niggas who claim 100 M's like that is not moving like that. There's a different level of air that niggas is breathing when they worth 7, not 7, 8, 9, 10 figures. Right? So this was Bitcoin in November of 2022. This dude bought at 17,000. I'm going to click the ruler. Bitcoin is now, well, as of today, is up 452%. Imagine putting $10 million in Bitcoin in November of 2022 and sitting at a disgusting 500, 600%. Sickening. And he's never selling. He's just borrowing against. He'll go into a wealth management bank and say, hey, he literally has an infinite money glitch now. Like, he has an 8-figure line of credit that he could use at any time. And he could just borrow against it. And he'll just use his portfolio as collateral, which is why he's never selling. And guys like Michael Saylor, that's why Michael's strategy, even if you hear Michael's strategy or now strategy is taking a hit or they're reporting their earnings as losses, yo, that's all tax strategies. And he's getting funded by the billionaires, the millionaires of this world, which means these guys are putting themselves in position to never, ever, ever not be wealthy. And they're passing it on to the next generation. And we over here being skeptical about what? That's the new 401k. Okay, so I want y'all to download this book right here. Ooh, exit strategy. Hold on. All right, that's not the book, but I'm about to buy this one. Oh, nah, never mind. No, this ain't what that's not what I'm into. Never mind. All right. Where is it? I forget. My phone is not connected to my MacBook like that no more. Let me show y'all some of the books that I've been reading. This is a good book too. The Little Book of Common Sense Investing. It's a really good book. I'm reading a little bit. From time
I
to
just
time.
picked up Best Loser Wins because of you, bro.
Hey.
Going through it now.
Yes, sir. Good. I'm so happy to hear that, bro. I'll be sitting here, man, highlighting my ass off. That's why I know what money supply is. M2 money supply, M1, M3. And it's like, I be having some books I should have been finished reading, and now it's giving me the appetite to read. So this is it right here, The Treasury of Michael Saylor. And I want to let y'all know, sometimes you will be dumb confused. You'll be like, yo, what the hell did I just read? But it's okay. Your future version of self will understand it later, or it'll all click later on. Go to ChatGPT and say, hey, I'm reading this book right now, and I just saw this. What the hell does that mean? Explain it to me like I'm dumb. And it'll break it down for you. It'll break it down for you. This guy, Michael Saylor, has a whole Bitcoin treasury. And as you guys can see, Saylor has built more than just a flywheel. It's a regulated multi-gear transmission, precise tune to yield curves, credit cycle, and credit debasement. At this core, the capital engine has 3 interlocking gears. Equity issuance, so he'll sell common and preferred stocks into public markets, eager for Bitcoin exposure, and he'll open at significant premiums to NAV. NAV, and you guys are going to start hearing this word all the time if you're listening to the right podcast and like CNN. You'd be hearing the word MNAV. And it's very important to know what NAV is net asset value. So sometimes you'll see a value of a stock, but the real asset value of it is the MNAV. All right. So basically, these are some of the plans and how they're deploying this whole Bitcoin treasury. And he's not the only one. Remember when I said Tom Lee, this guy Tom Lee, he's right behind Michael Saylor. He's right behind Michael Saylor, and he's doing the same thing. Literally, they're creating systems where their stock is a treasury. Their systems are structured where even if, let's say, the stock is doing bad, but then he's selling the shares and making it liquid so that way his investors who invest in Michael's strategy can now have a backup plan in case, let's say, Bitcoin is in a drawdown period. They'll just sell the shares of the stock, which are millions in shares, and then they'll just turn it into liquid cash to buy back in at discount at the demand zones, which is why price, even if you see it pulling back in, you got motherfuckers like Michael Saylor buying billions of shares at the bottom so it can continue, so they will never sell and just borrow against it. Why would we not be in on this as much as they are with what we can afford? Do you understand why we're going to have trillionaires walking around like it's nothing?
You know what's wild about that, bro? When you do that strategy, that's also how you get around taxes too.
Yes, bro.
Like the game is crazy.
Tax strategies, like tax strategists are like these wealth management folks that like went to school for that. That's what they do to wealth clients. That's the type of conversations they be having. Asset restructurings. Loss, what's it called? Net loss strategies. What he said? Hold on. Tax loss harvesting. That's what he said. Tax loss harvesting. Y'all need to look into these type of things, bro. So that way you guys are more knowledgeable. You're not just freaking being a trader. Like you learning different things so that folks don't be like swindling y'all. You know? Like, don't keep your whole personality about just being a trader. Man, we are much more than that. I ain't even gonna drop that into the free game channel. They won't get it. I'm gonna drop it here. So, in a nutshell, this is what you should be excited about for the next 4 years and more. Because we got a plan. And we sticking to it. Am I right?
100.
Yes, sir, bro.
My
Yes,
voice
sir.
is shot. I'm done. I'm done. I just want to see us win, man. That's it. That's it.
I really appreciate this, bro. I had actually saw your post randomly, and I was like, you know what? My brother's always dropping gems, and you over delivered tonight, bro.
Thank you, bro. Which Q is this, man? Is this Rodney?
Nah, this Q Quantito.
Oh shit, nigga.
Yes, sir.
Bro. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, you sat through it, boy.
Yeah, you know I had to show love, bro.
Thank you, man. I'm thankful you stopped by. Oh, that's it, guys. This webinar recording will be available into the Discord. I'll drop it in Telegram too. Because there's gonna be there are some things that we have to go back and really like revisit. Because I know I said a lot. I know where I'm at in my action plan and the steps, but sometimes you gotta listen to a couple things twice, you know, for it to stick. All right. So with that being said, guys, man, cheers to wealth. Cheers to the future. Cheers to fucking abundance, man.
Yes, bro.
Cheers. Thanks, Hans.
Cheers to being able to learn something new. Thanks, Hans.
Absolute.
Facts.
That's a good one.
Facts.